Welcome to Does It Matter by Brainy Ballers, where we dissect the game with cutting-edge analytics to give you the upper hand. We analyze everything from hand sizes to average depth of targets to uncover hidden trends that no one else sees. Say goodbye to guesswork and hello to data-driven domination. Because here at Brainy Ballers, we don't just watch the game, we understand it. So get ready, it's podcast time.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're plunging right into something pretty fascinating from your sources. Does body mass index, BMI, actually matter for NFL wide receivers?
Yeah, it's a great question.
We've got a whole stack of analysis here, and we're going to try and cut through the noise, find those surprising facts.
Exactly. Our mission here is really to pull out the key insights from this deep dive, figure out the why behind what the data is telling us about athlete performance,
Right.
and help you get that knowledge, quickly but properly.
Okay, let's unpack this then. The study, it was focused on predicting success for these NFL wide receivers using BMI. What was the core method here? How'd you set it up?
So we zeroed in on the top 50 fantasy football finishers going back to 2003. And importantly, we only used NFL draft combine numbers for the physical data, like height and weight for BMI.
Ah, okay. The combine numbers. Makes sense.
Yeah, and their PPR fantasy scores for performance.
Good baseline.
Exactly. We rounded the BMIs to the nearest 0.1, and just for comparison's sake, the bottom 10 meant finishers 41 through 50.
Got it. So looking at those numbers, what did the sort of initial pass on average BMIs show? Because you think speed, right?
Well, yeah, that's what's really interesting. The top 5 finishers, they consistently had higher BMIs compared to the guys ranked, say, 31st to 50th.
Consistently. Yeah, 15 out of the 21 seasons we looked at, that's what, 71.4%?
So this early consistency, it really suggested BMI could be, well, a bigger factor than maybe people thought. It wasn't just a fluke.
Okay, that is interesting. So if that first look kind of pointed towards BMI being significant, how did you then find a specific number, like a threshold from all that data?
Do you want to start dominating your drafts? At brainyballers.com, we've researched every metric under the sun for you to find which ones are best linked to fantasy points. You can access hundreds of metrics to sharpen your scouting abilities so you know which metrics matter and which are just noise. Stop guessing on which thresholds to look for within each metric. Big numbers can be misleading or irrelevant. Our Ultimate Athlete Blueprints reveal essential scouting metrics, their importance, and benchmarks within each metric that help predict a player's probability of being a success or bust. Elevate your scouting ability with Brainy Ballers' Ultimate Athlete Blueprints today. Click the link in the description. Now back to the show.
We basically made this differences chart comparing the BMIs across the performance levels.
Okay.
And it lets you see where the big jumps happen. We saw these overwhelmingly positive numbers indicating, better performance. Pretty much right after a BMI of 26.0, that became the first real point of focus. It clearly signaled, top-level performance kicking in.
So what does hitting that 26.0 mark, and maybe above, what does it really mean when you compare the average guys to the top guys? How big is the difference?
Well, connecting it all up, the numbers are pretty stark, actually. If you look at those 210 receivers in the bottom 10 group, places 41 to 50 over the years, 68.1% of them had a BMI at or above that 26.0 mark, which is, quite a lot.
Okay, so even lower performers often hit that.
But, and here's the key bit for the top 10 finishers, 84.3% were above 26.0.
Ah, okay. That's a big jump.
That's a 16.2% increase. It strongly suggests that having that higher BMI, it's a really common trait among the very best receivers, maybe helps with contested catches, breaking tackles, that sort of thing.
Right, adds a physical dimension. And you didn't stop at 26.0, did you? I remember reading you fine-tuned it even more.
Yeah, we did. We dug a bit deeper.
What did that fine-tuning show?
Through more analysis, tweaking the range slightly, we found that 26.3 BMI and above, it resulted in an even greater appearance rate in the top 10 compared to the bottom 10, like a 21.0% increase since 2003.
Wow, even bigger gap.
Exactly. So that became what we identified as the optimal range in this study. It just showed the strongest link to that elite production. Maybe that extra bit suggests a sweet spot,
Yeah.
Power, strength, durability, not just bulk.
26.3, that's the number.
Yeah.
Okay, so how has this trend, this 26.3 threshold,
Yeah.
how's it looked over time? Has it always been this important, or has it changed with the NFL game?
That's a really important question, actually, about how the game evolves.
Right.
And the study found a pretty significant shift. Interestingly, that 26.3 BMI threshold, it seemed less influential for the top guys back in, say, 2003 to 2013.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but then it became way more common among top 10 finishers in the more recent period, 2014 to 2023.
So the game's changing to favor that build more now.
It kind of suggests that, yeah, maybe more emphasis on winning those contested balls, blocking, yards after catch, stuff where that bit of extra mass helps.
Fascinating. So statistically speaking, how solid are these findings? Can we really hang our hat on BMI being a predictor?
Yeah, good question. The regression testing gave us a Pearson value of 0.116.
Okay, Pearson value. What does that mean in plain English?
Right. So a Pearson value just measures how strongly two things are linked. Anything over 0.1 in research like this, especially with elite athletes, indicates a meaningful positive relationship.
Positive meaning as BMI goes up, performance tends to go up.
Exactly. And just for comparison, something people talk about a lot, like running back draft capital. Its Pearson value is actually negative 0.234. So our 0.116, it's not like a perfect crystal ball, obviously,
Sure.
but it shows a consistent, meaningful upward trend. It demonstrates BMI can be a genuinely helpful piece of the puzzle when evaluating wide receivers, especially at that top tier.
So wrapping up our deep dive today, it really seems like body mass index does matter for NFL wide receivers. More than maybe we thought.
It does.
That 26.3 BMI threshold, it really does seem to correlate with a noticeable bump in top-tier fantasy production and likely real-world success, too. It's a cool insight, kind of shifts how you might look at receiver builds.
Absolutely. And for you listening, maybe think about how sometimes simple physical measurements, things we might overlook, can actually reveal these deep, sometimes surprising patterns when you analyze the data properly.
Yeah, good point.
Like in pro sports here, but maybe elsewhere too. What other kind of overlooked metrics might hold predictive power in areas you're interested in? It's just a reminder, isn't it? Sometimes the simple data holds the key.